Hello ladies, gentlemen and others, my name is Dan, the voice behind that Kaito Dan, and I'm here to talk about everything that has just been shown off at RTX2022 regarding RWBY, and there is a lot to go through. Though please do be a bit mindful of the fact that I'm doing this completely off the cuff. I don't have a script for this video. I'm just going off several notes that I've gotten from people who were there in attendance, because unfortunately I was not. I'm all the way over here in Spain. So yeah, I am completely going off the cuff here in terms of what I'm able to discuss. But yeah, enough rambling. Let's actually dive into some of the exciting stuff that is coming for RWBY fans throughout the next coming months. And let's start off with the simple stuff, which is the merchandise. So as ever, we got a bunch of general merchandise shown off for all kinds of different characters, including some pins from Neon and a necklace for Penny. That's pretty cool. And we are also seeing the first shots of the latest entry in the streetwear collection. Previously we've seen streetwear entries for RWBY and Weiss, and now we have seen Blake and Yang's lineup. So Blake's has got some really cool stuff, I gotta say. My favorite though is probably the cat hat. I guess that's the simplest way to say it. That's so cool, and I love a lot of this stuff really. And Blake's collection is going to be coming on the 20th of July, whilst Yang's collection, which looks absolutely badass, I love the golden dragon style to it, that's coming on the 12th of August, so that will be the end of the streetwear collection there, though I wouldn't be against a Team Juniper streetwear collection, or maybe even a Team Coffee one, wink wink, nudge nudge. But yeah, we also got some other merchandise in the form of car accessories. So we got ourselves some mats, I'm guessing some like stickers. I don't have a car, so I'm only just going off what I can think of. But yeah, we actually got some car accessories that will be coming on the 26th of July, so that's really, really cool there if you want to glossy up your car to look a bit more RWBY styled. But now we move on to a host of figures, and I'm talking like probably the largest batch of new figures I've seen for the series. And we start off with the, I think the announcement now that the Q Posket line of time skip RWBY figures are available now. So if you want to grab them, go check them out. And we have also got a new entry of Team RWBY figures for the Atlas gear that is being done by U2s, who you may have seen do like a lot of small, like these bobblehead kind of figures for some of your favorite YouTubers. So it's actually kind of cool that we're seeing something that started out as a YouTube production, or at least a production that went on YouTube, now following in line with those, and they look really cute as well. I love the expressions on them a ton. And then this is stuff that was shown off at Anime Expo, which is going on at the same time as RTX. But yeah, we are getting some new Good Smile figures. And they're actually Figmas, like full-on traditional major Figma figures. And that is all in regards to RWBY Ice Queendom. We have two that are done for the base versions of both RWBY and Weiss so far, but we did see the temporary models, I guess, of the 4 Lucid Dream versions of Team RWBY. The versions that are going to be, well, if you've seen the episodes, you kind of know why these are called Lucid Dream designs. But yeah, we are getting some new Figmas for Team RWBY, and it's cool to see them getting in a mixture of not just the Ice Queendom exclusive designs, but also the more traditional looks. And hopefully we will get the Blake and Yang ones as well at some point. And we also have a very interesting new collaboration with Makeship, who I believe are a sort of plushie based merchandise group that works alongside or whoever's like interested in designing, selling and promoting and manufacturing these plushies that are being sold for the fans. So apparently this could be where we are gonna see maybe some plushies for non-major characters, like maybe stuff for like Sun or for Team Coffee, maybe like Emerald or Mercury, like some of the expanded characters and not like Team RWBY and Team Juniper and stuff like that, which I know a lot of people have been wanting some more merchandise for those other separate characters, and the fact that we're possibly going to get them in plush form is really cool. So we'll have to keep an eye out for when that follows up in the near future. And while it wasn't officially shown off in any through like Rooster Teeth's main social medias, I did see someone show an image of Eddie holding up a shadow box of I believe it was the Volume 6 poster. So it looks like we're going to be getting some shadow boxes of maybe those poster designs, which is really cool. I know a lot of people have been wanting them to do more traditional posters, but hey, if we can actually get something a bit more unique with those poster arts in this format, with shadow boxes looking really cool, I'm all for it. But yeah, we didn't get like an official word on when those are coming out and how or where they're coming from, so keep an ear on the ground for that. Let's move on now to the gaming side of things. So we had a little brief mention of the current collaboration for Paladins, which is out now, so if you want to dive into that and get skins for Team RWBY, Salem, and Crow, there you go, you can play Paladins as those characters. But the gaming news that a lot of people was looking forward to was finally getting something new on RWBY Arrowfell, the game that is being worked on by WayForward and Arc System Works. And we got a brand new trailer that looks really damn cool. On top of seeing some more of the gameplay where we can switch with each of the Team RWBY characters as we fight apparently across Atlas, Mantle and beyond, and use Dust for skill point upgrades, at least given by the gameplay footage we saw. We also saw a little bit more about the story, because we know that this is going to be taking place in that kind of intermediate period shortly after Team RWBY and Co. were made full huntsmen during the Volume 7 run of the story. So this is going to be in that area that we didn't get a lot of time with before things transpired in Atlas. And we actually saw some new characters in the form of this Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising looking guy in a mech, and there's a very funny line from RWBY in the trailer where she's going like, oh no, not another giant mech thing. How many of those have they faced over the years? I think like 2, at least from Beacon era, especially with Roman in the Elysian Paladin. But yeah, and then of course the Cordovan mech, so I think this is like their 3rd or 4th at this point. So I guess it's a running gag. And yeah, it's interesting that this like very buff business guy is in control of it. Maybe he's gonna be our big bad, we'll have to wait and see. But it could also be this other guy that was shown off at the end, who's kind of more of a rugged bandit type that, while he's getting arrested, sets off what I'm guessing is maybe some kind of charge bomb elsewhere in wherever they are, like the cave system. So this will probably lead to a level where maybe you have to escape the cave before it collapses, and obviously beat up Grim along the way. But yeah, it seems like we could be maybe in a position where the story is you're going up against this like bandit guy, and you're being employed by the senator guy in the mech, who turns out is maybe like trying to like break down like a rolled part of Mantle and replace it with some kind of like Atlesian business stuff, you know, kind of like that kind of rich versus poor mentality stuff going on. But that's just my speculation. And we also saw a little bit more of the new team that is in Arrowfell, at least for a snippet of them looking like they're following on from the scene that we saw in the original trailer. So yeah, it seems like they're going to be like the more prevalent kind of characters that we face maybe throughout the game alongside these 2 new characters. And yeah, I'm very excited to finally get some more information on Arrowfell, which, as we saw at the end of the trailer, is going to be coming out later in the fall. So we've got that going on, as well as, you know, a little something else called RWBY Ice Queendom. Apparently at the start of the panel, where we saw a little interview with Gen Urobuchi, who is, I believe, the director of Ice Queendom. And they had a little bit talking about how they got interested in RWBY, how they initially was given apparently the RWBY was fine to let them do what they want with the RWBY IP, but Studio Shaft wanted to work closely with the RWBY and sort of the world of RWBY. So that's how we've got the setup that we have for the series now, which is pretty cool. And those in attendance at RTX, both at the RWBY panel and at RT First Night yesterday, they got to see some of the dub that has been unfortunately delayed a little bit. But they saw a dub scene from episode 2. I'll leave a link to a little audio capture that Klaxon was able to get of the scene, so you can have a little listen on that. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool, and I can't wait for when the dub does come around. And it was also the last production, by the way, done by Kaden Jensen, who is now leaving Rooster Teeth to take up their own projects, all the best there. And they worked on Ice Queendom as the co-voiceover director and co-director of casting. And that's pretty cool, and what a way for Kaden to go out. All the best with their future works and all the projects that they want to do in the future. And they did say that they will be back for any kind of May Marigold stuff in the future if we get it, so hopefully that will be the case. But yeah, can't wait to hear the dub. And on the dub news, we did actually get some recent news regarding the new voice for Roman Torchwick. Now, of course, Roman hasn't got a current voice actor anymore, so we've needed a new one, and that new voice is Christopher Wehrkamp, who you may remember was the voice of Clover Ebby from Team Atlas in Volume 7, so he's coming back to the RWBY series as the new voice of Roman Torchwick. Big congratulations to him on that. I do need to discuss, though, the rather unfortunate side element to this, because it turns out that the original new voice for Roman Torchwick was going to be Billy Kemetz, who has unfortunately just recently passed away due to colon cancer. It's an absolute shame, because Billy has been such a fantastic talent in the world of voice acting. I loved his performance in Persona 5 Royal as Dr. Maruki, and it is a shame that we did miss out now on him as Roman Torchwick, as I'm sure they would have done absolutely fantastic in the role. And credit as well to Chris, who has said that they are going to be donating the proceeds for playing Roman Torchwick to the Colon Cancer Coalition to help out there. So massive respect to Chris, not just for taking up the role in Billy's stead, but also donating these proceeds like that. And yeah, again, much love to him. My condolences again to everyone related who knew Billy Kemetz. Again, it's a shame that he's not filling in for Roman Torchwick now, but all the best to Chris as Torchwick in the future, and I can't wait to hear his take on the very classic and well-loved character. So be on the lookout for that when the dub does come in eventually sometime later very soon this year. Now, before we go on to the main event discussing Volume 9, there is one last thing that was revealed at the RTX panel that is a pretty big deal, and that is a brand new project, a crossover movie with the Justice League that is coming next year. Of course, we recently had the comic crossover with the Justice League, where we had several of the DC faithful characters from the Justice League interpreted as characters in the world of Remnant. And now it seems we are getting our first ever RWBY movie based on this absolutely wild crossover experience. It is being in production right now and animated and produced by members of the RWBY at RT Animation, alongside help from Warner Brothers Animation and Entertainment, because of course Rooster Teeth is currently a property under Warner Brothers. So this is why we've got this collaboration in the first place. And yeah, we're looking at a RWBY movie coming out next year, and again, it's crossing over with the Justice League. That is so wild to be saying all of that. I'm interested as well to see if we're going to see more Justice League versions of not Justice League versions, RWBY versions of Justice League characters. So we've got the ones that we saw in the comic, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash, and like Green Lantern as well. Are we going to see some other characters from the Justice League and DC Comics interpreted as RWBY characters? Yeah, it's just, again, crazy to say. RWBY movie crossover with Justice League. What on earth? But yeah, let's go on to the main event now. Talking about RWBY Volume 9. Now, I'm going to jump ahead to watching the new teaser trailer. So, I'll see you guys in a bit. Here is my reaction to that teaser. Count it down with me. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, it was first shot of RWBY in Volume 9! We saw this in the earlier preview clip. Who's this talking? Whoa! Bells and butterflies. Oh no, don't do that to me. Mouse! Oh my god! Whoa! Oh hell, hey, hey Neo, what's going on? Whoa. There's too much going on! Too much going on! There's too much going on there! What are you? I'm saying that to the volume. What are you? RWBY Volume 9, early 2023. So this was something that was discussed from people who were in attendance and saw this at RT First Night. But yeah, Volume 9 is coming early next year, which is a shame, but I'll discuss the sure explanations, or at least the most common explanation for it in a second. But I just want to have a quick analysis here before I do like a deeper one and go back to the like voiceover discussion. But yeah, this is like our first shot of Volume 9, and it's wild. Like, this is the most wild looking volume I have ever seen, without question. I mean, we start like with RWBY in like pitch darkness, covered in smoke. There's like falling into like a tower with bells and butterflies. There has to be some deeper meanings with like the butterflies and bells. Like, bells are usually like a happy thing, but sometimes they can like be part of like a death in a way, because obviously like churches. I think there's like some it looks like the same butterfly that we saw in Volume 6 when she was when RWBY was talking with Maria. If that's the case, I wonder if that's like a purpose there. This green sword, RWBY learning about Pyrrha is gonna break me. I can't wait for that moment. Yeah, what's next? Oh yeah, this little guy. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about the mouse. I'm gonna save that for the discussion in a sec. Bear with me, but yeah, that is the last thing I expected to see. RWBY with a mouse in this weird world that, I mean, just jumping ahead, this world is what? Like, this is the most crazy looking set piece we have seen in RWBY. We've got, obviously, the big giant tree in the middle with, like, rainbow leaves now. And then we got Candyland, giant mushroom land, and volcanoes and, like, purple trees. Just what on earth is this place? Well, actually, we know that it's called Ever After because of the premise that is tied to this trailer. But, yeah, Ever After looks freaky as all hell. As is like the stuff like being discussed, because there's people. The person talking sounds like they're talking about the tale of the girl who fell through the world that was brought up last volume by Ozpin, and it definitely feels like we're gonna meet this girl as well. I think that we actually saw her as well. Okay, but this shot here with the knight in the flames, is that Jean? Because we didn't see him at all in this trailer, and I think. I mean, his armor's like silver and gold. It's the same kind of like style as Jean's, but obviously with a helmet and like pauldrons. And he's standing in fire. What the hell is going on? That has to be Jean. That looks too much like his armor set to be anyone else. And standing in fire, that's not a good sign considering like Joan of Arc stuff. But yeah, flipping Jean looking beastly if that is him. And then speaking of beastly, flipping. Like this demon horn thing? What the hell is this? If I would hazard a guess just on the top of my head, because this is very much like a Wonderland, kind of like mixture of like Wonderland and Yggdrasil, and like like general fairy tale stuff, just about like the Candyland stuff. Is that supposed to be like a Grimm or like this weird world's version of a Jabberwocky? I'm not quite up to date with my Alice in Wonderland stuff, but that could be who that is or what that is. We saw a little bit of Neo, who's like looks like she's up for a fight, and we all saw like a little bit. I saw just at the end on the bottom right, her semblance was sparking up, so she could be in the midst of a fight, maybe against RWBY, one of the other characters, maybe Jean, or some of the other people in this realm, like this weird girl walking on the beach. Who is that? Is that the girl that fell for the world? Is this version of Alice? She's got like a very fanciful dress, judging by the pattern at the bottom. And then there's like just a hodgepodge of different scenes of people talking. And yes, we'll talk about talking in a second. Saying like, what are you? The premise of this trailer suggests that this world and this adventure in Volume 9 is going to really crack in some introspection stuff for Team RWBY. We're going to see them dealing with a lot of emotional turmoil that is going to make them almost question their identities, apparently. Sorry, I'm getting dry throat. And yeah, it ends with some shots of Team RWBY and the year. It's coming out early next year. Okay, I need to take a quick drink, and then I'm gonna go and talk a little bit more voiceover wise. So catch you guys over there. Okay, I'm back. Let's keep talking about that trailer, because that again was one of the most wild trailers I think we've seen for the series, with all those different like weird mysterious like features and creatures and all stuff going on. I have absolutely so many thoughts running through my mind right now, but let's try and focus on a few things. So let's start with one of the most pressing things, that release window, early 2023. So we know now that the RWBY and some of the RT animation team are working alongside Warner Brothers for that crossover movie with Justice League, which I'm assuming is that separate team project that was discussed, I think, at last year's RTX. They mentioned that some people who had finished working on Volume 9 split off and were part of a different team working on a new project. And I'm guessing this is that project. So some people will be hearing all that and thinking, oh god, they're stretching the RWBY, the Rooster Teeth team thin on two projects when we're already waiting super long on Volume 9. But again, I think that split team aspect is helping them out, focusing on only passing people on to the other project if they are done, or at least mostly done, on Volume 9. At least that's what I'm assuming is the case. So that is obviously probably one of the major reasons why we're not getting this Volume 9 this year. Another thing I'm thinking of as well is again regarding the stuff with Roman Torchwick. Now, there's a lot of people speculating that we could see Roman in Ever After, possibly as like a spirit of a realm of the dead, maybe something along those lines. And because of the situation regarding Billy Kemets and having to get in Christopher Reckcamp, it's possible like they had to redub some scenes, and because of how difficult that would be to do for the 3D models, that's probably extra work that was tacked on. And obviously just the fact that we're working with so many new assets, both big and small, that I'm sure that has required a lot of hard work from the Rooster Teeth team, and thus the need for more time to work on it, especially in regards to them still doing a lot of work in studio and out. So yeah, there's a lot of fair reasonings, I'm sure, for why we're having to wait a little bit longer than many of us probably would want or hope, but I'm very understanding of the situation because of all the things I've just pointed out, and many of the other reasons that I'm sure affecting it as well. And regardless, we've waited this long. How many other series as well are waiting even longer for the next chapter of their thing? I mean, hello, Kingdom Hearts? How long have people waited for Kingdom Hearts 3? That is nothing compared, everything that we're dealing now with RWBY Volume 9 is nothing compared to stuff like that. So if we can last this long waiting for Volume 9, we can keep on going all the way until early next year. And I wouldn't mind it dropping maybe on the start of January, because if it's a Saturday episode and it's the start of January on the 7th, that's my birthday. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Volume 9 is coming out early next year. And let's dive a little deeper now on some of the stuff that we saw that I didn't talk about in my little quick reaction. So one thing that I did miss out on is we saw someone that's very much a Cheshire cat with the purple and blue, like very uniquely animated model that is just so cool and just fitting for a Cheshire cat kind of character. Very warped, very mysterious. It doesn't quite move like anything else. As it kind of like plays with your mind and like tricks with you. That's pretty cool. And we also saw a mouse, and we actually have a name for the mouse and a voice. Yes, a voice. The mouse actually talks. This was shown off a little snippet of a scene at RTX at the panel and at First Night, and we know that the name of the character, the name of the mouse, is Little. It is Little the mouse. It is freaking Stuart Little. I was making jokes about this last night after hearing about this mouse from the First Night screening. I didn't think how accurate I would be. So yeah, but we got a Stuart Little representation in RWBY? That is wild. And again, it's speaking. It can talk. And apparently, judging from people who are in attendance, the voice is Lucy Christian. The voice of Uraraka from My Hero Academia, who has previously been in RWBY, much like Chris was, for previous roles. They were the voice of Freya, the old woman who was the previous Winter Maiden before Penny, as well as Little Miss Malachite. So this is her third role in RWBY, and it's looking to be one of the most wild new characters we're going to see. Joining alongside RWBY. Definitely something I wouldn't expect of this story, but I'm interested to see where it goes. What else? I'm going through my notes here. Okay, we saw a crown. Is that the relic of choice? It's got a different design than I was expecting. It's kind of more like a UK crown, like my queen, I guess, the UK queen. Whereas before, I think it kind of looked like a spiked crown, like a classic medieval crown with like it angles out rather than inward to make a dome shape. So I wonder if the crown can change shape, or if this isn't the relic of choice and it's something else. The first thought I'm thinking of is that Glinda's hairstyle or like hair color. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, but could that be Glinda or someone related to her? If that is the relic of choice, or if it's like maybe a different royal in this weird world of Ever After, since it seems to be borrowing a lot from fairy tale stuff. I mean, the mixture of different realms and like something completely unique to like the real world. Yeah, could that be the relic of choice? No clue. And then there's one other character that I missed out on that could be in relation to that armored knight in fire. And that was this very uniquely armored woman, I'm assuming a woman, in fire as well, who I definitely think is related to whatever that knight was, because again, it's standing next to fire, there's a lot of armoring going on. I can't really pick anything out on that. Okay, I'm gonna make a bold statement. Could that be Pyrrha? Because, I mean, we've got Jean the Armored Knight. Could this be like a corrupted Pyrrha after dying and ended up in the Ever After, and she's become kind of like the Wonder World has twisted her a little bit? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, I think there's got to be some reason why we haven't seen, like, we can't see like the hair color, we can't see like the face, we can't see like what they look like beyond just like the intricacies of the armor. And regardless of who it is, there's definitely a connection between this person and the Armored Knight. So if you're thinking that we're not going to get any action in this volume just because it seems to be very introspectful with like talking about the struggle of their own identities that was mentioned in the teaser premise, I think there's still going to be some action, so that's interesting. So we actually do see Team RWBY together. That's something interesting. I would have thought that we would have maybe kept them hidden and we were left to wonder how long is it going to take for them to meet up. But no, we actually do see them meet up
it seems early on, so they're going to be sticking together for at least the most part of the volume, whilst Neo is off doing her own thing, and Jean is either the knight or somewhere else. Maybe he's turned into the mouse, we don't know. But yeah, I'm glad that they are together, actually, Team RWBY, because obviously they're going to need a lot of introspection, and it works best when it's playing off someone to see them reacting through all the emotions, especially RWBY, because we see her see the crystallized sword that Penny used, and she's going to learn about her dying again, and that's just going to break her. And apparently, a lot of people were saying, like, emotions cause this world of Ever After to warp based on how you're reacting. So when someone cries, it starts raining. That is definitely interesting, seeing like a world that reacts to your emotions. And considering how emotional these four can get, that's bound to lead to some striking as hell visuals that I cannot wait to see. And I think that's really all I can say. Again, it's a very short teaser, and I'm only going off by what we see here and hearsay from those in attendance at RTX. But suffice to say, this is definitely going to be one of the most important, most emotional, most enthralling, most crazy volumes we have had in the entire run of the series. This is, remember, something that was planned and like conceptualized like even before Volume 1 was starting. So this is something that has been like slowly building throughout the volumes, and now we're seeing it bloom into something completely like out of this world, literally. I just cannot wait to see how this affects the characters. It is interesting that we didn't see any other characters bar the ones in this realm, so that plus reports that this is probably going to be a very short volume compared to like traditional episode amounts. Could we not see any characters in the real Remnant? Are we going to be strictly focused in the Ever After? Or will we have moments where we do jump into like Vacuo and see how people are dealing with things there? I hope so, because I am desperate to see animated coffee, especially Velvet. But yeah, I think that's all I can break down any further. But what a wild RTX panel. I just wish I was there in attendance, or we had live streams, because there was a lot of hoopla about that. I'm not going to even go on. But yeah, we've got so much exciting merch in terms of like the streetwear, a ton of new figure reveals, some new collaborations going on there as well. We saw Arrowfell, which looks amazing. I cannot wait to play that later in the fall. And we also got a freaking RWBY movie to look forward to at some point as well. Again, with the Justice League. We got a little bit of new details from Ice Queendom. And Volume 9 looks to be something well worth the wait. And that is the most pressing matter. We have waited so long for something. We've waited all this time for news on anything regarding Volume 9, Arrowfell. Ice Queendom has just started, but we waited a while on that. We've waited for so much, and right now it feels like it's going to be worth it with everything going on and shown off here. And I want to give all my love to the crew who have been working so hard over not just this past year for RWBY and Volume 9 and beyond, but just like in general. Much love to all of them who have been working so hard on this project, on this series that we all love. And yeah, be sure to stick around, because I'm sure I've got a lot to talk about Volume 9, Ice Queendom. I got The View coming out for the first 3 episodes, by the way, tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Reactions as well in the near future. I'm gonna be doing some stuff on Arrowfell for sure, and whenever the movie comes out, I'm definitely doing something for that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about everything shown off at RTX. What do you think about the stuff shown in the Volume 9 teaser? Are you excited for Arrowfell, the movie? What's your thoughts on some of the stuff regarding the merchandise, the figures, Ice Queendom? Let me know anything on your mind, because I want to hear it all. Do so in the comments down below, and while you're at it, hit the subscribe and bell buttons, and take the notification box to make sure you get every new video from me as they drop on all of this. As you can tell, I am excited. And also follow me on Twitter at KaitoDan for more on anything to do with RWBY, updates on the channel, and more. But until next time, I need to go lie down. Have a good day or good night, and peace out.